Okay, so welcome everyone to our final session, and this is called the home run. Let me just quickly share my screen. Now, today what we're going to do is we'll have a small introduction. I think the timings are all again wrong. We are then going to talk about what we have achieved so far. And I would like to invite you all to actually talk about what your experience has been. What would you like to share with others? And, yeah, anything else. And we can also do a fun activity if there is some time available to us. Okay. Now, as you all know, that SCM Youth is an advanced communication skills fellowship, which was created because you guys are the representatives of all those young people who are doing incredible things in their respective domains, amazing research projects, but they are not able to showcase it to the world. They're not able to showcase themselves, and they're not able to showcase their work. They're not able to showcase the causes and the things that you are talking about, which the world needs to know or which the world should be aware of. So that is why this fellowship was created, where we can be of help, me and the other mentors involved, in order to help you prepare a TED-like video so that you understand how to communicate complex ideas in simple language, so more and more people can relate to it. They can get inspired, they can join the community, they can join your network, and so on. This fellowship was also aimed at helping you come out of your comfort zone and into the world where you can be more social media savvy. You can openly talk about your achievements without feeling the guilt of not achieving enough, without feeling the uncomfortable feelings which come along with the fact that what will others think of me, the judgment associated with that. And at the same time, work on your personal brand and brand projection skills, because this is exactly what the world needs right now. I think there are some 700 million people in India who have access to internet. So out of 70 crore people, if you want to stand out, you will have to put in some effort. It is not going to happen on its own. When the internet started really reaching out to people in India, I think it happened with the Geo revolution, the low-cost internet penetration. All those people who were already famous instantly became more famous. And now their fame, or now their reach, has reached such high levels that even they did not imagine that they would be at this level. So when we are talking about brand projection on the internet, it is not about competing with those really famous people. It is about being searchable. It is about being available for the people who are searching for you. Because there are people who are searching for quality young people like you guys. They are not looking for the most famous people on the planet. They're looking for the right people. And you guys are the champions of your respective domains. So you are automatically the right people. We completed this fellowship. Well, the initial design was obviously to keep it for 7 days. As you know, this is the first time that I have been able to organize such a fellowship. So, it has been an amazing learning curve for me. We started on 7th. We then, that is when Sangeeth came and, provided his expert understanding and insights on during his plenary sessions on defining moments, where you understood that what leadership is all about. The next day, we talked about Parikshit, gave an amazing plenary session on online content creation and the brand associated with it. What brand do you represent already? And I think that was quite a revelation when he said, your brand is already made. Now it's up to you how you can improve it. Even if not having a brand is a brand, right? Then we also talked about some basics about what your SCM talk should have. And then we started practicing. And you guys were already involved in the month of May for writing your script, you're writing your drafts, and then we used to do dry run and a revisit session. On the first revisit session on 11th of June, we had Samarth deliver another plenary session on youth advocacy and why is it important for youth to speak up about the right topics, especially if they're related to the global goals. And probably you guys also understood that, yes, it is not only good for me per se, yourself, to talk about what you have achieved, but it is also a moral obligation. It's also a responsibility that you guys share, that you have to share these things which you have worked on with the world. We had another practice session, and then we had a plenary session by Priyank and Harshita, who talked about how to communicate research, how to approach research, how to talk about complex, intense statistics and different research insights in a simplified manner. And then we thought that maybe we directly can go to the home run, but no. Then we all discovered together that a peer-to-peer session can actually add a lot of wonders. So we've had a few peer-to-peer sessions wherein you guys have given each other feedback, where probably for the first time you realize that your audience is also in this community itself. And it was such a beautiful experience to see all of you sharing feedback and insights with each other, sharing your own experiences and learnings, so that each of your talks become essentially very, very effective. Whether it is about science, or it's about history, or it's about economics, or it's about psychology, or any other topic, you all helped each other. And that is exactly what the purpose of this community is. And finally, we are at home run, probably 10 days later than the planned schedule. But then, the most beautiful things in life happen in an unplanned manner. A few fellowship highlights, what we have achieved. Well, during this fellowship, the 9 of you guys, the 9 fellows who came on board, your age group is between 12 to 21 years. Your education levels include grade 7, grade 11, grade 12, second year undergraduate, and completion of bachelor's. Your academic subjects include physics, biology, economics, history, civics or political science, psychology, chemistry, business studies. The regions that you guys represent today are Delhi, Gurgaon, Chandigarh, Bhopal, Bangalore, and British Columbia in Canada. So we represent also 2 countries. The gender ratio has been 5 to 4 females to males. So this is the community that you guys have built together. What all topics did we discuss about, or we are sharing with the world with this cohort? Gender and climate change, how history shapes us, time for right to health, nanocatalysis for plastic waste, youth shall make change, Antariksh ki khoj with a low-cost telescope, pollution in your blood, leveraging crypto assets, chemicals plus mental health. Do you see the diversity of the topics that we are all sharing in this small exercise that we try to do? And it's not that we're just scratching the surface over here. We are actually going deep down into each of these areas. What causes have we highlighted? What are the various, well, I hope you understand causes, but what I'm trying to say is, what are the various major issues that we have talked about, which the world needs to understand, which the youth particularly need to understand about, because it belongs to them. If they don't understand these things, their future might not be as productive, as healthy, as happy as it should be. Public health, mental health, critical thinking in education, deep tech awareness, gender inequality, climate change, plastic waste management, democratizing astronomy, academic research, youth empowerment, air pollution, right to health. And all of you together represent these causes. Some of the SDGs that we have been highlighting are SDG 1, no poverty. SDG 3, good health and well-being. SDG 4, quality education. SDG 5, gender equality. SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. SDG 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. SDG 10, reduce inequalities. SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. SDG 13, climate action. SDG 14, life below water. SDG 15, life on land. SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. SDG 17, partnerships for the goals. Can you imagine, can you see how interdisciplinary this fellowship has been? And you've not only learned about your own topic in depth, not only learned about communication skills and public speaking, but you've also learned that there are so many overlaps with the other fellows who are talking about other areas. And probably this will help you later on in life for better collaborative projects. They can be academic in nature, they can be research oriented, they can be something else altogether. It's completely up to you how you use these interdisciplinary highlighted projects and topics which have come out of this beautiful experiment. Now, time for the felicitation, wherein we are going to announce the certificates of completion. However, the certificates are not yet complete. Why? Because there is a small part at the bottom left which talks about take a look at my SCM Youth talk. So when your SCM Youth talk is announced, is published on YouTube, we will be putting a QR code on the certificate and then sending it to you via PDF. Our first fellow, in no particular order, Yashmit Segal. Yashmit, congratulations. You have completed the fellowship. You have become a better speaker. You have talked about time for right to health. Very well done. Yashmit, are you there?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Like an amazing experience, and I'd like to thank all the mentors, you, Sangeeth sir, Parikshit sir, Harshita ma'am, everyone who has helped, and all the amazing fellows. I mean, these are some of the most intellectual people I've ever interacted in my life, and I mean, the level at which their brains work to analyze a particular situation is just beyond comprehension. So it has been an awesome experience. I mean, really very good.
Amazing, Rashmit. I think we have learned similar things from you. Thank you so much for being part of this.
Pleasure.
Yashmit actually also helped in organizing the entire event. So he is going to get another certificate as an intern for this as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about more about that later on. Our next fellow, Ritisha Gajwani. She, I think, is the most experienced of all the fellows this cohort has seen. Ritisha talked about gender and climate change and is going to publish a talk very quickly, which also brings me to another area. If you want to change the topic of your talk, it's absolutely okay. We will do that for you. Ritisha, congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir. It has been an honor, and with everyone around, it feels like, just like I know everybody since so long. It doesn't feel like I don't know these people, and I've learned so much from everyone, like Zac's speaking skills, then Vihaan's presentation skills, be it Nidhish's humor in his talk. Everyone is so wonderful, and it has been amazing.
Amazing. Next, we have Ishita Malhotra. Ishita is representing SCM Youth in the area of chemical mental health, and she has been an intrinsic support for the entire fellowship. She is one of those most enthusiastic fellows in this cohort. Congratulations, Ishita.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. I'm actually very honored. And it was an amazing experience along with the mentors and the fellows. It was lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ishita. Now we move to Vihaan. Vihaan is talking about probably one of the most contemporary topics that we have today for the youth, especially leveraging crypto assets. Vihaan, congratulations on completing the fellowship. Even though you could not attend the initial days, you have put in the hard work and showed all of us that how you can manage to speak on such a complex topic in a smaller amount of time as compared to others. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. It has been a great experience. I'm, honored to have this opportunity. And I learned a lot from all the mentors, even the fellows in the peer-to-peer sessions. So yeah, I had an amazing time.
Beautiful. Then we have Zac Sangeeth. I think probably the most published of all the fellows. Zac is going to deliver a talk on lessons from history. And Zac, you would like to share something about the fellowship. Please also share about your achievement, which is going to come in July. So congratulations, Zac.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm grateful to you, all the mentors and all the fellows for giving me this opportunity.
And July?
Oh, yes. I've already got the author's copy.
You want to show it to us? Or you want to tell others what is going to happen in July? Okay. Well, Zac is a published author. If for those of you who don't know, what we are also going to do is I'm going to put the Amazon links for his books. He's already published 2 books, which are 3 points, world history in 3 points, and then more world history in 3 points. And July is going to be especially special for Zac because he is publishing his 3rd book. So obviously that's always special, publishing your 3rd book. But there's another reason why it is special for him. Once he comes back, he is going to show you the author's copy that he has already received. Zac, go ahead.
This is my next book. I think it has a few interesting stories. You can say it talks about how gender equality is linked to climate change, which I think one of the fellows are even talking about. The Silk Road and how it shaped our history, etc.
And Zac, what is the name of this 3rd book?
It's called Hidden Links, and it's available for pre-order on Amazon.
And is this a book that you have written alone?
No, I've written it alongside my dad, who's in fact one of the mentors.
So this is Zac's 3rd book. It is his first co-authored book, and it is a special book because he has written it with his dad. Congratulations, Zac.
Thank you.
Now, next we have Surya. Surya, an amazing mentee who I have known for, I think, a couple of years now. And she is going to talk about something which is very close to my heart also, which is, democratizing science and astronomy. Surya, congratulations. I know it has been a tough journey for you. You have been going through quite a few things in the last couple of months, and but you have pulled through, and the growth that you have shown, I think, is probably the most growth that I've seen somebody in this fellowship so far. Congratulations, Surya.
Thank you, sir. It was a great experience for me, a much required experience. It really helped me get my confidence back up and surely got me into public speaking again, which I had left for quite some years. Yeah, thank you so much.
Amazing. Then we have Nidhish. I think probably the most colorful personality in our cohort. Always has an opinion up his sleeve. Nidhish, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm there.
Okay. So Nidhish is going to be delivering his talk on nanocatalysts versus pollution, how we can use nanocatalysis in order to reduce plastic waste pollution. Nidhish, congratulations on completing the cohort and being such an important member and contributor to, especially to the peer-to-peer sessions.
Thank you so much, sir.
How was your experience?
I mean, it was great. The mentors taught me a lot. The sessions taught me a lot, and continuously improving upon like the points, like all the mentors, even you told me, and yeah, it was a wonderful journey.
Thank you so much, Nidhish. Now we have Jia. Jia is our only fellow who is not currently living in India. She's from Canada, so she made extra efforts to join the fellowship. Even though it was late night for her, she would take out time just to sit and understand what it is about. She's in grade 11 and she's going to be delivering a talk on blood work mysteries. I think we can all agree that Jia's journey has remarkably changed. And during this fellowship, like his final session yesterday in our peer-to-peer sessions was very different from what she initially presented, because initially being a science student, she loved complicated terms, but slowly we saw that those complicated terms became very relatable terms. So I think Jia has been taking the feedback which she received from the mentors, from other fellows in the cohort very seriously and very quickly. So she has that particular talent of doing that. Unfortunately, because it is too late for Jia today, and today is Sunday, tomorrow is Monday, and she has to wake up early to go to school. She was not able to join this session. But congratulations, Jia. You have done an amazing job. Any of you would like to comment on Jia's behalf, which is, I think, very strange to do, but anything that you would like to do or say? Go ahead, Nidhish. Why not?
Yeah, she was with me in the the peer-to-peer sessions. So I did notice that you can say closeness in her speech and her talk as well, and it did feel a lot of like she wasn't that vocal, and that was visible in her speech as well. But then as she slowly improved each and every time, that was very noticeable. And in the end, when she was, her expressions, her speech intonations, and then even her speech, how much she had simplified it. So, yeah, I mean, that was commendable.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nidhish. And I think Jia will really appreciate this as well. Our final fellow is Saisha, and Saisha is currently in her second year of studies at college in a bachelor's degree, and she's going to deliver a talk on psephology for good, how youth can bring about change. Saisha is unfortunately currently not very well. She has been going through a lot of sickness for the last 1 week, and that is why she was not able to participate in peer-to-peer sessions as well. But her enthusiasm hasn't died, because she continuously chatted with me and she kept on saying that, can I just record my talk and send it to you for feedback and everything. So thank you so much, Saisha, for that. We wish you a very, very fast recovery. Congratulations on completing the fellowship. We're looking forward to your talk soon. Another thing that I wanted to mention about Saisha is that she will be traveling to the US, to Harvard University, to represent her current university in India. So an extremely busy person in college, but still managed to take out time for this fellowship. So congratulations, Saisha. Any of you who would like to speak on her behalf, if you have observed her, or if you wanted to share something that you really wanted to, share with others? Okay, great. Well, hope to see you soon, Saisha. Now, coming to the next important bit, we want to recognize some of you for the extraordinary efforts that you have done. All right. Obviously, this was never a competition, because it's just unfair to compare you guys with each other. But then some of you have put extra efforts towards improving yourself, going through this journey, and we are yet to announce the results. But I just wanted to share with you all how we are going to assess that. The final recognitions will be announced once your YouTube talks are published. Okay. There will be, as you all probably remember from the first session that we did, Your YouTube or SCM Youth talk would be assessed on these 6 criteria: originality, creativity, sincerity, simplicity, relatability of the talk, and your digital public speaking skills. Now, all the mentors, Sangeeth Varghese, Parikshit Bhardwaj, Samarth Pathak, Priyank Sharma, Harshita Sharma, and myself, we have all already given our feedback. We've all collected our feedback. But the final feedback will come once you deliver your talk. So there are 3 categories where we would like to recognize your achievements. The first one will be a combination of originality, sincerity, and creativity, where we have tried to assess on how quickly you have taken the feedback, what mentors have provided you and helped you in on these lines. Again, best digital public speaking, whoever provides the best digital public speaking based on the feedback and this entire fellowship. So we are not going to judge you on day 1 how you were, but we are basically going to assess your achievement as you have moved along the fellowship, because that journey is more important than the final outcome. And the third recognition will be on how relatable your talk was. How many people could relate to it? Again, it depends on the journey that you have come through by taking feedback from the mentors, by taking feedback from each other, and then improving your talk. So all this will be announced in July. After your talks have been received, they have been edited, and they have been published on the SCM Youth YouTube channel. All right. So there's one more thing to look forward to. Okay. Quickly, let's take a small group photograph. And then I'm going to talk about something interesting. Great. Let me quickly set it up. And we probably need a gesture representing SCM Youth. So you guys can come up with something. I mean, I think the victory sign and the heart sign are already taken by others. So we can probably come up with something else. So, for today's purposes of the group photograph, ready when you are. 3, 2, 1, cheese. All right, once more. This time, some other gesture. You can make your own bunny ears if you want. But yeah, what should we do? Anybody who can suggest something? Thumbs up. Okay. All right. Anybody want to dab or something? No, I don't ask me.
Hold up my book.
Yeah, tell us, Zac.
I think I'll hold up my book.
Oh, see, he's already a marketing genius. Well, okay, so the second photograph, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you so much. Let me share my screen again. And this is about what we're going to do in the future, where we want to create this healthy community for more cohorts. Now, probably some of you know that I want to create a second cohort this year. We already have 6 amazing candidates who could not, earlier join us in this cohort. They are there. And, the other thing is we would announce it again like we did it this time, to invite applications from other brilliant candidates. And hopefully, based on, your talks, more people will get inspired. So what is your future responsibility as an SCM Youth Fellow? You're all now global ambassadors for the SCM Youth Fellowship. Now, what does that mean? That means that you have to live by the values of SCM Youth, which means community building, talking about the right things, no plagiarism, honor code, going deeper into the areas, making your talk, making your communication more relatable in the most honest and effective manner. Once you start researching, the very first thing that comes to our minds is, oh my God, there is so much knowledge to be had. And then along with that, there automatically also comes a bit of judgment towards others who have not yet started that journey. Do you understand what I mean? So then we start talking about our own research in the most complicated manner. Sometimes in order to prove to, sometimes out of, just that is exactly what we have learned. So we are just going to present it like that. But sometimes also in order to tell others that I know more than you do. How many of you have, felt something like that before? You can raise your hand. Yeah. It's quite normal. It's quite natural. All of us go through that. All of us. But this is what you need to understand. You are researching not to show off your achievements. You're researching in order to create impact in the world. And if you don't share your thoughts in the most empathetic manners with others, then others will not relate to what you're doing and the impact will be lessened. So those are the SCM values. Next, you all have amazing friends and peers who probably are also doing some amazing, high quality, unique, original work, original research. And they are also not able to find out mentors or a platform to showcase their work. Just like you. So your job is to try and find out those people and nominate them for the next cohort of SCM Youth. Agreed? Yeah, this is something that you can do. It's not very difficult to do, right? Next, the future cohorts will be again online, because I think this is the only way we can do it if we want to include a lot of people. Hopefully, maybe in a year or two, once we have an alumni meet or something, we can probably do an offline cohort as well. So in order to help the fellowship grow and become more productive, and since you have already seen how this works, I would really, really like if you could volunteer to make or to help in the operations of the entire fellowship. All right. One person cannot do it. I've had the support of many people from my organization and volunteers, Yashmit and Ahana, who actually did a lot of work. But now we have a method. Now we have a thing. Now the basics are clear. Now we can just add on to it. So if you can come and help in organizing these sessions, in taking these sessions, so that I don't have to talk all the time, maybe you should be. And you can learn how to engage a community. You can learn how to make sure that everybody who's part of the conversation is feeling engaged and feeling wanted. If you want to experience those things, this is the right place for you to do that. Trust me, there are going to be more and more fellowships and more programs online. Don't you think so? So do you think it's going to be yeah? So do you think it's going to be a good skill to have in the future? Next, we want to build a community around what we're doing at SCM Youth. Young people who are doing amazing things, coming together, working on more interdisciplinary projects. Projects which probably universities and schools and organizations like the United Nations or governments are not able to even think of right now. So those unique projects for which we need a community, we need a platform, we need to have engagements where more sharing can happen. And you guys are part of SCM Youth, so you tell me how we can do that. All of you are going to various places. You're already, some of you who are in school will probably continue to be in that particular place for some time. Some of you are going to universities in different parts of the world. So whenever possible, whenever it is possible for you guys to meet us, other SCM Young Fellows or mentors, please reach out to them. Have offline meetups. We can do a lot of things online, but then it is not the same as offline, isn't it? So these are the 5 things that I really wanted all all of you to understand, because now you are the global ambassadors of SCM Youth. So, do you like the tagline of the entire, of the podcast, SCM, the future we should have? I want to ask,
Yes.
yeah, go ahead then, Ishita. So I want to ask each of you, and Ishita can start now. What do you think it means when we say the future we should have?
Okay, so the future we should have. So, sir, first of all, we are the youth, so we are the future. We have to train ourselves so that we can train the next generations to be the future, which can actually impact the whole world to be a better place.
Others?
Yes, I mean, since like all these, the future is ours, so it has to be our responsibility to shape the future. We can't depend on anyone else to shape a future for us. So we need to empower ourselves with the tools and the rights which we require to have a better future for ourselves, and try to create a better future for other generations, because obviously they will have their own vision, but we can at least give them a path or a starting head start kind of thing, so that they can actually grasp, okay, this is what we need to do. These are the guidelines, and here we can, build up our own future. So that is what I think it should be our right and our responsibility. That's what
Who would like to go next?
So the future we should have is creating a world which is the best it can possibly be. Because as you said, all the fellows, we've gone deep into our own respective fields, and those fields can actually shape the future to make it better for the future generations, as Yashmit said. And yeah, and that is our responsibility. That is our duty to do that. Since we're already doing this research, it's our duty to carry it on.
Absolutely. Who else?
Yeah, I think we'll have to like take our actions now so that we can shape our future the way we should. And not only that, uh, the future um, the future should be beneficial for others as well. It should be a collective future. It should be a future that revolves around the community as a whole. So yeah.
Very nice. Who else?
To sum everything up, what everyone said, all these ideas, amazing, that it's our responsibility, number one. Number two, a world where there is sustainability and all these things that we talk about, that things that matter, actually. So the name of this cohort is Conversations That Matter. And the tagline of it is a future that involves everyone and benefits everyone. So, yeah.
Yeah. Surya?
The first thing that clicked my mind after hearing this sentence was that uh, basically we all are running in a race to build our own futures, which is the truth. But in that race, we should not leave behind our core values, and we should take our community with us. Community can be, even if you don't have much time, your community can just be your friends or your family. Just to take all these people along will also make a big difference. Only the amount you can do, just put in your efforts.
Wow. Zac, what do you think it means when we say the future we should have?
My school has a tagline, "Our tomorrow is today." I think the future we should have is one which we cover all the SDGs, of course, as Sir said, and a clean place, educated place, of course. Yeah, that's what I believe.
Oh, see, just by understanding your different perspectives around it, we've already kind of created an image of a future that we should have. Yeah. So if given an opportunity to each of you to come up with one word or one word is going to be limiting, but then that's the challenging part, right? So come up with one word, and you cannot use a word which has already been used by others so far. Okay, so if you go first, that is an advantage, obviously. One word which describes the future we should have. So whoever raises the hand first goes first. Okay, I think Yashmit just beat Ritisha and Vihaan. And what I couldn't, like, before you go ahead, Yashmit, I just said raise your hands. I never really said that you have to do it virtually. You could have done it just like this. But okay, Yashmit, one word.
Then one word is very limiting, as you said, and the word which I'm going to use probably is a lot common, but I would go with sustainable.
Sustainable. All right. Go ahead, Ritisha.
I would say happy.
Happy.
Happiness is something we need.
Okay, so sustainable, happy, and then was Vihaan, and then Surya.
I didn't raise my hand yet. I'm still thinking.
Oh, okay. Surya?
I was just thinking what Ritisha said and then I said it, so I need to give it some more thought.
Okay, who else? So just keep understanding.
Can I say?
Yeah, go ahead, Ishita.
Positive.
Positive. Okay, Zac, go ahead.
Progress.
Progress. Yeah, Vihaan.
Inclusive.
Inclusive. So we have Nidhish left and we have Surya left, right? Think. You guys have already described those words when you were given a chance to, describe the future we should have. Okay, so who would like to help Surya and Nidhish? Any other word that comes to your mind? It's okay. Surya, Nidhish, take your time. Others, any other word which comes to your mind?
Peaceful.
Peaceful.
A bit more tolerable.
Tolerable. Tolerant would be better.
Tolerant, yes.
Okay, tolerant.
Give me one more minute.
Maybe introspecting,
Wow.
just not looking in the external world, looking beyond it.
Beautiful. Any other words that come to your mind? Yeah.
I have another word.
Go ahead.
A little slow, not so fast, and all that.
I would say, so would you want to replace the word slow with mindful?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other word, guys?
United.
Sorry?
United future.
Wow, united. Very nice. Perfect. So let me just repeat some of the words that we have. We have sustainable, happy, positive, progress, inclusive, peaceful, tolerant, introspective, mindful, united. And these are the values that you should be working on in your work later on as well. Because ultimately, these are the things that the entire human experience is worth living for. Otherwise, what's the point? Yes. Now, I would like to play a small game with you all. We'll do it for 5 minutes. Okay. This particular activity is not a game. It's an activity. It's called a lifeline activity, which is quite similar to defining moments, right? Now, what you have to do is, if you have a paper and pen or some place where you can scribble and then show it on the screen, a notebook or something, if you have that, then I want you to do something. I want you to draw your lifeline. So all of you have seen, dramatic Indian movies where they show the ECG graph, right? The ECG graph is healthier and then it just goes blank and zero, right? And then the person is declared dead. Similarly, you have to draw that same ECG graph, but for your life. For example, so when I started my life, all the high points in my life, I will show as a spike, okay? So if you can see this, then this is my graph. And I was born, I think that was a high point. So my first thing is going there. And then I, performed well in academics. So that was also a high point. So my graph keeps on going like this. Yeah. Then one time I didn't perform very well in academics. So that became a low point. So the low point is then showed like this. Okay. And then I continue. And SCM Youth is my highest point so far. So this is how you make a small lifeline for yourself. Think, and we should all thank Surya for this particular exercise because it is about introspection. Think about the points which made you really happy. So they can be high points of your life so far. And then those points which were slightly low, you felt demotivated, you didn't feel good, they can be low points. Okay. So quickly make a graph. You have 2 minutes to make the graph. And then you have 30 seconds each to describe some of the high points and low points.
So we don't have to write anything on it, right?
You don't have to write anything.
Yeah.
This activity I actually learned at the Jagriti Yatra. So they have been doing this for the last, I don't know, some 12 or 14 cohorts that they've had. So very interesting activity. Are you guys done? Who is done? Okay. All right. So Yashmit, go ahead. And then Zac, you go ahead and describe your lifeline.
So I'll just show it. I don't know if it's visible or not.
You have a blur background. That's why it's not visible.
Oh.
So you'll have to switch off the blur background.
Now.
Yes. Oh,
Is
wow.
it visible now?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like a mountain range. A lot of peaks to conquer.
Not the prettiest of graphs, but yeah. So starting with, as you said, I was born, so it's a high point. Yeah. Then academics were very good. 9th, 10th was amazing. But then I changed schools and I hit a low point here. It was always my dream to be the head boy of the school. but it had only been 3 months since I had joined the school. So I was given the second best position in the council. I was the president of the council. So that hit me hard. So that was a low point in my life. Then I had another low point again following this. This was during my CLAT preparation. I wasn't scoring that well in my mocks, and there was a lot of depression. So of that. Then there's a high point here because I became the organizer of a TEDx event in my school. So that was a high point in my life. Then there's the low point here again, with clients related to my entrance exams. But then my result came. So another peak. Then my 12th results came. So kind of unexpected, but yes. So that was high point again. And then followed by SCM Youth, again a high point. Right now it's high only. So I mean, yeah, pretty
Amazing.
inconsistent, but yeah, that's it.
So by a show of hands, how many of you found this story relatable? All right, Zac, go ahead, your turn. Thank you, Yashmit, for sharing. It's such a courageous thing that you did.
Over here, I'm not sure if it's.
Oh yes.
I think, yeah, the reason this is my birth, again, a high point. I think it went down because at that point of time, I think, like I said in my interview, my teachers were complaining about my motor skills, and I couldn't write at all, so that was a low point. Then I came back up. I started enjoying history. During online classes, again, it dipped because I started getting headaches and things. I couldn't study properly because of the screen. But then it started going up, and finally over here again it dipped due to the second wave, and then again it goes up from there with my books and things.
Okay.
And of course,
So at least everyone's high point is SCM Youth. Well, that was the purpose of the activity. Thank you so much. So, how many of you could find this relatable, what Zac said? Wow. Thank you so much, Zac, for sharing. Who would like to go next? Okay, Ritisha.
Okay, so looking at everyone's graphs, it's so nicely made. Mine is not so good artistically, but okay, the first one I would say is a high point because I was born, and then after that, it's a high only. I really enjoyed my childhood and everything. It was very nice, and then my grades were amazing, and 10th to 12th were amazing. And then when I went to college, it became a little, struggle, some, if I must say that. But I wouldn't blame I wouldn't blame anyone for it. And I learned quite a bit with it. So I wouldn't say it's a low, but, and then SCM Youth is there. So, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Ritisha. How many of you could relate with that your childhood was mostly happy? Yeah. All right. Vihaan, go ahead. You raise your hand. You're on mute.
Yeah. So over here, my birth, of course. Then this, I was pretty happy, growing happy during first, second, till then. Then this was a peak point. I went to the UK to live there. So that was an amazing time. Then I came back to India. My grades were pretty consistent. They were good. Uh, again, grades. Then I got pretty good marks in 10th grade. And then again in 11th, and just after 11th, I got a position in the student council, and SCM Youth also happened around that time. So that was a pretty peak point for me. And then I hope it increases. Like it just keeps on growing.
Awesome. Amazing. So I had one question. Like, so you can now, because now you have understood the graphs and journeys of some of them. If you have any questions, you can obviously ask. Vihaan, you showed, living in the UK is very high, and then it dropped when you came back to India. Is it really so?
It was like a state of mind. It's not like anything that happened, but I enjoyed living in the UK a lot. And then coming back to India, I didn't want to come back. So yeah.
Makes sense. How many of you can relate with something like that? That there was some change which happened and you didn't want that thing to happen, but it changed. Okay. All right. Who would like to go next? Surya, go ahead. Mute.
it visible?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so obviously my line starts from when I was born. So like it was a high point. So it starts from a high essentially. My childhood was a very, very happy childhood. So it keeps going up. And I believe that my life has always been about progression. And so the graph will always keep going up. It will never really come down. So, so here the slope slightly goes up. Right? So this was the point when I was not very close to my father initially for like till 4 years of age because he was away for his army duties, so like that. So this was a point where I really got to be friends with him. So I found three friends at this point, three new friends. So first was my dad, and then at this very same point, I found my two best friends who are with me till now. So yeah, that was a very great blessing for me. Now, this is the point where I started Taekwondo. Martially, I discovered myself that I like standing up for things. I discovered myself that way through that sport. So it was a really great thing for me. Then at this point, three consecutive things happened together. So the first one is I built my interest in astronomy, which is going to be my career. Second, my sister was born, a really big achievement for me, I would say. Being a big sister is great. And the third one was I started archery. So yeah, so that was great. And then this is the point where I bought my new bow, which works in Olympics. It was like a short hype. I really liked that. But then, okay, during the 10th grade, I was really stressed because of archery. I was a good student, but I was not great. And so I really pushed my academics, and because of that, I really got depressed and sad during my 10th grade. Although when the results came, I was really happy. I got a 96, which was good. And then 11th grade and 12th grade were fine, but they were obviously upslope because I got a lot of things on the way. I got my student council position. I started to work towards my telescope, towards the profile building, and I got the subjects I wanted to study. So everything was great. I got the awards I really wanted from my school, the recognitions, they gave it to me. But here is when the university decisions come in, not a very good result. So yeah, but then I'm good with with school I'm going. I have now I'm a little bit of satisfied, not much I would say, and the time after that has been great.
Wow. Very, very detailed. Thank you so much. So, Surya highlighted something very important. She talked about friends and relationships also. How many of you could include that in your graph? Okay, very nice. Who would like to go next then? Ishita, you want to go next? Okay.
Yeah. So my glasses, can you see it? No.
Blur. You have to unblur yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's pretty small. So this is the time when I was born. This is the time when I was born. I was pretty happy. Well, everybody is, of course. And this is my junior school. Then in the fifth standard, I became a prefect. So that was like a very good moment in my life. Then again, middle school was fine. Then I was awarded the all-rounder of middle school in eighth standard. Then ninth was fine, 10th was fine. Then 11th was a down for me because, and also this is the point where 11th standard comes, and I really worked hard to become a prefect of my school, and I did not. So that was like a very low point of my life. And then right now I'm in 12th and it's going pretty well. So I just hope the graph keeps on increasing and doesn't fall down again. So yes.
It will. That's the beauty of life. The graph will not really go down for most human beings. Yeah, because a lot of things are sorted for us. Thank you so much for sharing, Ishita. I think Nidhish, you are left.
Yeah.
Mr. Environmentalist.
Can you see my graph?
No, bring it closer. Bring it closer to the camera. No, Nidhish, you're not.
Give me a second.
Huh. No, it's okay. Just, do you know where the camera is? Because you are not holding the paper in front of the camera. Bring it closer to the camera, exactly. Okay, yes, now we can see it.
Yeah, but now I'm not.
It's okay. You explain.
Yeah. So, I mean, my graph started around you can say somewhere between the low mid area when I was born. And then it kept on rising. And it just kept on rising. And then it hit a point it was, I guess, the pandemic era. So that was a little low. But then I had a few friends who could support me and, engage me at that time. So there was a little peak there, and then it dropped a lot because of all reasons. You can say academic reasons, personal reasons, and yeah. And then there's a tiny little uprising around somewhere here. There, because there was at that point I had no friends. I barely had any friends, and you know and then I found someone new, a new friend, you can say. But then yeah, again a low, another you can say dip, and then it was uh, a state of a very low confidence state. And 11th had started, so I wasn't performing well in academics as well. And then there are tiny uprisings and dips, uprisings and dips. So I can say I was progressing and then dipping, progressing, dipping, progressing, dipping. And then I learned something through that those dips will always happen. They are bound to happen. So what's important is the progress should always be more than the dip. As long as the slope of the progress is higher than the dip, then you're doing good. So then I ensure that my progress is higher. Sorry, my progress is higher. And now, like this at this final point, you can say I'm not at the peak, but I'm somewhere high. And because of SCM Youth, I am at that high point. And I can say to a point where I had no friends, I am at a point where I have no enemies.
All right. Wow. What did you, would you like to, we are just going to end it now because we've already gone over time. Anything that you guys have learned from each other's life lines that you probably didn't realize earlier?
That
Go ahead.
okay.
Okay, go ahead, Vihaan. Then Ritisha.
Okay. So that everybody has dips in their lives. It's not just you that has to face challenges. So it's like whenever we face hardships or anything, we always say, ki, why is this happening to us? But it's actually happening to everyone around us. We have to face these challenges in life. It's just the trick that we have to find to overcome this challenge.
Beautiful. Yeah, Ritisha, then Yashmit.
That even though there are dips and highs and everything, but life still goes on. It doesn't stop there. So it anyway, new things come up, things go. So there's always hope that it's going to be good. So that's how I keep myself positive about it. So yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, Yashmit.
So, I mean, I completely agree with Vihaan that because whenever something bad happens to me, the first question I ask to myself is, what wrong have I done to anyone in life? Why is this happening to me? So, I mean, it is natural, I guess, but I've realized that it happens to everyone. And looking at even in my own graph, I've just introspected a bit that whenever there were dips, they were always followed by peaks here and others graphs as well. So I won't say that it's all downslope. It will be followed by a upslope, and it is true that they say that अंधेरे के बाद सवेरा ही आएगा. So I guess it is time for me to be a little bit hopeful because I relate with Surya's talk a lot. I was not satisfied with my college entrance exam, but now I'm a little bit satisfied with the place which I'm going. So I guess I have to be a bit more hopeful and give life a chance to experience. So yeah.
Zac, you wanted to say something?
No, I was just saying to myself that that's very true.
Yeah, but you want to share what you learn from other people's lifelines as well?
I was going to share, but then Yashmit said exactly what I was going to say. So.
Ah, okay. Nidhish?
Yeah, I mean, what I learned from everyone's lifelines, and exactly what Yashmit said, I learned something that we should be optimistic. Looking at everyone's dips and consecutive peaks, I learned more about optimism. It's like when you're optimistic, you die once in that lifeline. You die once. But if you are pessimistic, you die every day. Every time you are pessimistic, you die. So that's what I learned as well. And then I learned, the uniqueness of everyone's graph.
Yeah.
It's not the same. Even though everyone has those peaks after the dips, everyone has different reasons. Everyone has different circumstances. And yeah, that just shows how unique everyone's lifeline is. No two lifelines can be the same. And
beautiful. Very nice. Who else would like to share? Surya, Ishita?
A very important thing that I realized is that people are highlighting even the smallest of their achievements or the smallest of their dips, like getting into the student council or not getting into the student council, or getting good grades or not getting good grades. And I, at times, try to just throw these achievements away. Like, I don't give importance to them. But I realize that maybe these small things are important to be grateful for, because obviously somebody like, I'm complaining about my university, people did not get admitted to it, so they are very thankful for getting admitted to the particular college. Or people are happy because they were president of the student council. I do not even care I was the sports prefect, so that is not right.
Wow, very deep actually. Ishita, you want to share something?
I feel everybody's covered everything. I would just like to say that we should never lose hope. That's what I learned from everybody, that we should never lose hope, and good times will come after bad times.
Exactly. I think that's a perfect way to summarize this conversation, guys. Focus on the journey. The dips are very important because they are the only places where you actually learn what you have not learned so far. If you don't learn, then the high doesn't come again. It'll keep on.
If you look at it, a graph which is an all-time high will never have a peak.
Yeah, probably.
And a graph which has dips and then goes to a high and then has dips, like in that pattern, it always has a peak. So an all-time high or an all-time low graph never has a peak. So in order to get one, you have to have dips and peaks.
Yeah. So that's the final message. So I've added 2 more words now, hopeful and optimistic. And well, we are going to be in touch. Thank you so much for attending the ceremony today. Thank you so much for taking out time on a Sunday, and hope to see you all soon. And please remember, if you find another SCM Young Fellow in your network, you have to nominate them, explain to them what this is. All right? Okay, guys.
Yes, sir.
Best of luck for your future, and just have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much.